Hey everyone, welcome to another nightly edition of 16 Legs to See. Captain Matt with Captain.
Janine.
She got a cue this time. So a few people have kind of asked some questions like, how are you guys traveling with cats and kids, and like, how did you get here? And so I thought I'd kind of bring the master planner along for some just ideas. What I guess what was some of the packing tips that you had?
Packing tips. Well, we didn't put things in luggage or boxes. We flat packed everything soft in black heavy duty garbage bags, and we laid those down. We had a couple of collapsible cubes to put a few things in so that we could use them on board or not use them, but they are being used. So
Yeah. And we don't have a big car. We're not a big truck type people, so we just have kind of a small SUV. And when you put four people plus two cats in there, it certainly becomes very tight. We definitely had every inch of usable space. With the cats, one of the things that we did that was pretty nifty, I think, that she came up with was we found one of these little octagon things. Actually, it's right out here. And what you see there is like a little playpen for like outside dogs and things like that or whatever. And it's basically just a little zipper. It's got a zipper on the top and a zipper on the side to let them in and out. So we ended up using that to, and it's shapeable. It's kind of, like I said, it's got an octagon shape, but you can kind of bend it to different shapes. So we put that between the kids. So the two cats were actually together in the same carrier. Now, not every cat can do that because some cats don't get along and they don't like it. But I think it really worked because they were able to comfort each other.
yeah, they soothed each other. When one would get upset, the other one would sit on the other one and kind of pet the other one, and they'd calm down, go to sleep.
Normally, Butter was the one that was more calm, and he would calm Pumpernickel down. But there was one definite specific instance when Butter, on the third day of being in and out of the car, he was really not having a good time, and she came over and put her paw right on his head, and he calmed down and he went right to sleep. So it worked out really well. We tried to give the cats like a break. So basically, about 2 hours into every day, we would hit the road at say 8 or 9 o'clock, and we would go till like 10 o'clock, and it kind of created just a good bathroom stop, anyways, with the kids and everything. And at that point, Janine would take the kids, go in bathrooms, get any drinks and things like that. And I would then grab their litter box, just like a little portable litter box, and unzip it and keep the car closed and let them come out and see if they needed to. They never did, but I think it gave them some comfort level that they could. And then I let them wander around the car for maybe 5 or 10 minutes while they kind of did their thing. Then once they came back, I would put them back into their carrier. We always made sure the doors were always closed when any of the cats were out, because you don't want to lose a cat at the gas station in the middle of Ohio, obviously. So, they would come back. I'd go do, my thing, and then we'd come back and we'd hit the road. And I think that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, we'll do it on the way home.
Yeah, it's going to be another adventure once we head home here, whenever that is. And I think for a lot of people get more worried about travel. We've done a lot of travel with kids. Seth is now 10, and he's been on pretty much 2 trips a year most of his life. And we have never taken, Janine and I, since childbirth of our first child 10 plus years ago. We've never taken a vacation without our kids. So literally, Seth was on a plane at 5 months old, 6 months old.
Yeah, 5.
And so
right about then.
We just never did it any other way. And a lot of people, I think, get scared of it. They think you've got to pack so much, you've got to do so much. And I think at a certain point, you just become paralyzed by the idea of traveling with children. And it's really not something to be terrified of. Yeah, it can be hard. Don't get me wrong, we've got some stories. I could tell you some stories that would knock your socks off. But that it then becomes a story that you can tell, and you learn from it. But in the end, really, it's not as difficult as you think. You pack the essentials. Trust me, you won't forget the essentials. And you're going to forget 2 or 3 things that you really wanted to bring, and you're just going to forget them. And you'll remember that you forgot them. You'll either be able to buy it wherever you're going, or you'll be without it, and you'll deal with it. And I think that is, part of the adventure aspect of this, that you need to just take that first step. Just pack the car and go. If the kid starts crying, pull over and soothe them. If the kid, has a poopy diaper, you get out and you clean it. I mean, it's not that difficult to do. And I think a lot of people do get scared of that. Certainly not everybody packs up 2 kids, 2 cats, and goes on a 6-week adventure on a boat across the Keys and everything else. So we consider ourselves lucky to be able to share some of these experiences with you. But I do think that some people put an undue amount of fear into traveling with children, small children, or animals. Would you agree?
I'd agree. And we're saying this with our kids not being the easiest travelers either all the time, especially in the car. The plane was one thing. They liked the airplane. Cars, not so much.
Yeah, cars are harder. I mean, we did 3 days of solid 9 hours in the car every day, and that's pretty much the max. So I think a good idea, if you're gonna travel by car, make sure you do it in bite-sized chunks. Do not try to do a 12 or 15-hour pull. That you could do when you were 19 and 20 with all your friends in the car, and a pack of smokes, and just hit the road. It's definitely something you do want to plan. More marginal chunks. Bite-sized chunks. Maybe get into the hotel at 4 o'clock instead of at 8 o'clock. You get in the hotel at 4 or 5 o'clock, the kids can then wind down a little bit. They can get into the hotel room. You might even be able to go swimming in the pool, whatever it is. And you're just going to have a much more enjoyable experience than trying to bite off huge chunks. We could have done this trip in 2 days, but it would have been just brutal. And we would have probably been so exhausted when we got to the boat, we probably wouldn't have wanted to do anything for 3 days. But as it was, we had some energy left over because we did budget the time properly. Here on the boat, we've managed well as far as space and time with the kids and packing, and we figured everything out. And some of the stuff we forgot, and we went and bought what we needed, and the rest of it you just learn to deal without it. And I think that's part of taking those steps of travel. So just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on how we traveled and how it worked out. It worked out pretty well for this time. Hopefully going back, it'll be just as easy.
Sure.
All right. This has been our edition of 16 Legs to See. We hope you, wherever this greets you well. Y'all take care. Have a great night. And thanks for following along. Bye.
Bye.